Welcome to the Diamond Underground Podcast. This is week 3 of the 2023 season. This is Nick. I'm here with Kevin.
What's up, Niner Nation?
Producer Brad hanging out in the background, making it all work.
Hey.
And last but never ever least, head coach Ashley Chastain.
Hey, fellas. Happy Monday.
Man, it is a happy Monday, and I think you're probably having the happiest Monday of all 4 of us.
Yeah, it has been an awesome day, to say the least. It's been, it's great. It's great. It's good vibes going into week 3.
Okay, so we got, let's just face it, a lot of good stuff happened in Charlotte softball this week. So it's going to take us a little time to work through this. So no time to get started like the present. Let's take this chronologically if we can. I'm gonna set this up, Ashley, and then I want to get you to comment on it, and then we're going to show a video. We're going to at least try to show a video. We tried showing a video last week, and it went okay. We're going to see if it works better this time, but. Over across the street at the Hayes at the baseball stadium, the baseball program decided to do sort of a student open house / home run derby, which was really well attended, by the way. But one of the first people to throw their name in the hat was none other than Boo Vanoy, who went public on social media and said, "I'm in." And when she said she was in, I mean, I was probably going anyway, I'll be honest. But when she said that she was going to go try to hit home runs at the Hayes, I said, I'm going to see this. So we went out there, and like I said, it was a great idea to do. I think the staff, I think Woody had seen it, maybe Mississippi State or somebody like that had done it and said, hey, let's do it. There was, oh gosh. I mean, they were dividing them into groups of 5 or 6 hitters each. And I think there were like 7 groups. And then other people came out just to watch their friends. And so there was this great crowd at the Hayes trying to hit home runs off the hack attack machine in the cage there. So we're going to get to the video of what happened with Boo. But first I want to ask you, Coach, when you found out that she was doing this, what were your first thoughts?
I wasn't surprised at all. I hadn't really thought about it. I knew that the baseball program was going to put that event on a little bit before they publicized it, which was an awesome event. I actually watched the back half of it. We closed out practice and I came over for a few minutes. But yeah, the students, it was a great turnout and a great idea. And a lot of fun, just interactive with the program. I really didn't even think about it. And then as soon as it went on Twitter, I had a text message from Bailey probably within 2 minutes of like, please tell Coach Woodard I'll be there. So I'm not surprised, Bailey, she'll get in the box with the best of them. That's one of the reasons that she is such a good hitter is just her confidence level. And she likes to have a good time. So she's not going to miss out on an opportunity to hit some baseballs and have a good time. It was awesome to see just her interaction with the guys on the baseball team. And I think yesterday on her Instagram story, she gave Austin Knight a shout out for his bat flip this weekend that he did down the first baseline after he hit one out. So it's just cool. It's cool to connect the programs and to get her involved with that event. I thought it was awesome.
All right, producer Brad, this is video from my cell phone. So set this up for you. This is a baseball. She's hitting baseballs. She's using her softball bat. It is 3:35 down the line. Here at the Hayes. And so let's take a look at what Boo did. Well, we got the reaction.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Oh, I love all that hype. It's awesome. Yeah, I wasn't surprised. We have a stadium system at the Sioux, and so we track every ball that's hit live on the field, and every time we go out and we hit BP or we're hitting on the field, Bailey has hit balls that far before on our system. She's hit balls that end up right at the home bullpen at the Hayes. So I wasn't overly surprised that she hit it out. I did not think she was going to be nervous for a second, because she usually is not. So, but I was proud of her. I mean, obviously anytime she can represent our program like that, and it's just great.
That went quite a ways on Twitter as well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't checked it lately. It was still going, but last time I saw it, it was north of 50,000, 50,000 appearances, and I think you can even track how many people actually blew it up and watched the whole thing, and that was about 8,000. So I mean, thousands of people saw Bailey do this. So
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
We did an exercise in the fall. It was like an icebreaker. It was back when the team first started practicing together, and the girls were getting to know each other still. And we did an icebreaker of, what would your dream job be? If you could do anything, what would that be? And Bailey really surprised me. I did not know that she was going to say this. But she said that she wanted to be a major league hitting coach. That's her dream job. So I thought that was really cool. The swing is the swing. It translates from both games, baseball and softball. So I would imagine her swing looks a lot like Austin Nine, Will Butcher, and all those guys on the baseball team. They're all similar swings.
Yeah, we saw quite a few of those swings this weekend that looked like boos.
Yep. Yeah. I know. Good stuff for them. Beating Ball State 3 times. That was awesome.
Yeah. So again, it was a great weekend all the way around as far as stick and ball. Although as I was looking at some Twitter traffic, it looks like track and field had yet another great week as well. Bob Olson and that crew, that program, they've been rolling for years and years.
Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bob Olson collects trophies, so that's awesome to see them keep rolling. But let's talk about so I was thinking about this earlier today. Last week we were talking about the job that Lena Elkins did as a freshman, making her first start last weekend, and we were like, man, that was pretty good for a freshman, their first start. And I guess this weekend I started to say Lena said hold my beer, but she's only a freshman, so maybe it wasn't. It was hold my chocolate milk or juice box or something like that. But Lena was like, yeah, you thought that was good last weekend. Let me show you something else. And she earned Conference USA Pitcher of the Week today via dropping a no-hitter on St. John's down in Athens, Georgia.
Yeah. I'm so proud of her. I don't even have words for how proud I am of her. From the moment she stepped foot on campus in August, she's been working for this kind of stuff, throwing a no-hitter, getting pitcher of the week, and her future is so bright. Lena is a really high achiever, and she takes what we do so serious. I mean, every time she throws a bullpen, every time she lifts, every time she trains in any way, shape, or form. We're working on PFPs, whatever we're doing, she takes it so serious, and it just translates. It's really cool for me to see it translating into her having success for our team. And going down to the tournament in Athens, the Red and Black Showcase, our plan days in advance was for her to throw that first game and for her to set the tone for how the weekend was going to go. And all I tell the pitchers, the whole staff, like, just give our team a chance to win every time. That's all I ask of them. And, that looks very different every single time they throw. But man, I mean, we didn't score a lot. We won 1-0. So Lena really, she had to hold it down. But you just watch her throw, and she doesn't look like a freshman. She doesn't look like a freshman to me. She's so mature, and she just has grown and learned so much since she got here, and it's translating right to the field. And I'm so excited for her. I know she was really pumped when she saw the award today. We've only texted back and forth because I don't see many of them on Mondays since it's our off day, recovery day for the week. And but she's gotten a lot of shout out, a lot of love on social media today, and she deserves every ounce of it. She's really talented. Obviously that's a given with with what she's done so far for us and what I expect that she'll continue to do. But she's just an awesome person. Like, it just couldn't happen for a better person. She's the best teammate. She's so funny. She just lights up a room every time she goes in it. And, she's just kind of one of those players that she shows up to the yard every day, and you know exactly what you're going to get from her. She's consistent. She's going to work really hard. She's going to tell a few jokes here and there. She's going to laugh a little bit. Like, she's just so steady every single day. And, I can tell you, she's also really, really serious about school. I mean, she came in my office a couple weeks ago and was really upset about a test that she took. And I forget what class it was. I think it was a science class, like a bio or chemistry or something. And she had studied and studied, and she got like a C, I think, on it. And she was so upset about it. And she was like, I really felt like I was going to do better. And so we just had that conversation, and she went and talked to her professor, but I thought she was going to sit down and tell me that she failed the test, and we get into the conversation. I was like, well, do you know what you got? And she's like, well, I got a C, I can't remember exactly the grade, but it was a C. And I was like, okay, well, I know it's not the grade you wanted, but I think we can work with that. Hopefully we'll get a tutor and study some and get an A or B the next test. But it just goes to show you, she's so high achieving, and she has high expectations for herself every day, for this program, for the next 4 seasons, next 4 years. And then just also in every aspect of her life. So I'm just so proud of her, so excited for her. I know all of her teammates were really excited for her today when they saw that award. And it's just such a great representation of our program. And we talked about that last week internally with the team when Cass got Player of the Week after week 1. And those are individual awards. And it's just an opportunity to celebrate an individual. But it is such a representation of every single person on the team, and how it really is a celebration and an award for every single person in the locker room, and how much work goes into anyone on our team having that kind of success. It just kind of takes a village. And so that's a really cool part for me too, is just how they celebrate it and how they celebrate each other. And they get so excited about it.
I bet it gets pretty competitive also now that we've won 2 weeks in a row.
Mhm.
But they're going to be talking about who's going to be next.
Yeah.
The pressure's on. I guess the pressure's on the offensive players now, since we've got a offensive player week 1, pitcher week 2. Now,
Yeah.
who's it going to be this week 3?
I know. I haven't thought about that, but you're so right, Kevin. It might create a little internal competition in the program, which for what we believe is only a good thing. So we want them to push each other. And, if that's what they're striving for week to week, then I think we're going to be pretty pleased here in a couple months with the results of this team.
Kevin, we need to get the research department on this. We need to figure out, because I think there's at least a chance that Lena is already the best pitcher to ever come out of Nitro, West Virginia. I don't know. I mean,
that's a pretty tall task for research, Nick.
We'll try to look into that for next week.
We'll say you're right and move forward.
How about that? If you're out there listening and you feel like proving me wrong, go for it. But until someone does, Lena Elkins, best pitcher to ever come from Nitro, West Virginia.
Yeah, I can pretty much guarantee that that's the case. She actually was inducted in the Nitro High School Hall of Fame in December.
Oh, that settles it then. That settles.
Wow. Already.
Yeah, she went back in December over winter break, and they did a big ceremony for her at a basketball game. And so she's pretty famous around Nitro, West Virginia. And we give her a lot of heckle about it. She comes to the ballpark and like, hey, the Hall of Famer showed up from Nitro.
She's getting pretty famous around campus too.
Yeah. Multisport athlete too. Multisport athlete in Nitro, West Virginia.
Oh yeah.
Nitro.
Yeah, I always really felt when we were recruiting Lena for the years before she became a Niner, that was something that I thought was really cool about her, is that she played basketball, she played volleyball, she played soccer. Every time I talked to her, she was in another season with another sport. And I'm like, okay, what are you playing right now? And she's like, well, I'm playing soccer right now, or I'm playing basketball, volleyball. She kind of did it all in high school. And, I think it made her really well-rounded. She's one of our best in the weight room. She actually moves really well to be a pitcher. I mean, she's not a position player. She honestly probably could play right field if we ever needed her to, but we don't really want to go down that road. I want her to focus on pitching, and she does train with our offense. I know she hasn't gotten an at bat yet on this season, but she does train every day with our offense. So I think that could be a part of her future as a Niner, is that you eventually see her be able to hit for herself when she pitches, which makes our lineup super versatile. She's just really athletic, and I think, attributes to her playing so many sports in high school. She moves really well. She can run the bases and do all of those things. So that's going to be a good thing for us in the future. As we continue to develop her in the circle, we add in the hitting piece to it for later in her career.
Well, speaking of hitting, and before we move on from this first game, your lone run, all it takes is one, came from another underclassman, sophomore Ella Chansey, goes yard and gets you the run you need. So, you get the run you need, you get the pitching you need, all from underclassmen. That's not bad.
No, it's really exciting. I mean, I said it last week of how all 7 of our freshmen influenced weekend 1 and got in and were able to help us get the win weekend 1. And that carried through for weekend 2. We just are getting so many people in the game and getting opportunities to run the bases in a crucial situation, a pinch hit, all of those things. And then you've got Ella, who won it for us against St. John's, obviously, in that 1-0. But Ella's a sophomore, and, she had a stellar freshman campaign. She was a top 25 freshman nationally, just really earned being our third baseman every single day. And I always feel like when you have a really, really great freshman year, your sophomore campaign mentally can be a little bit grueling and kind of a grind going into it, especially for someone like Ella. She's fantastic, and she's a perfectionist, and she works really, really hard. I think I've talked about her before. And so I think just the expectation that she has for herself in her sophomore campaign based upon her freshman year, she puts a lot of pressure on herself. And so we've been working hard at trying to keep her relaxed and just her confidence really high, no matter what kind of start she's had here the past couple of weeks. And, I think that's tough as a player, having those expectations from your freshman year and trying to live up to the same exact thing as a sophomore or junior or senior. And so we just try not to focus on that. We've been trying to keep her really relaxed and take the pressure off and, stick in her process and honestly just trust herself and trust her abilities. And I was really excited to see her come through against that first game at St. John's. And she's from Athens. And so really one of the reasons that we went back to Athens this past weekend, was because it's where she's from. I think it's really cool when you get an opportunity to go play where you recruit and where your kids' families are. And so there were a ton of people in the stands there for Ella, and to see her show up big for, her family and her closest friends that came to see her in Athens, in her hometown, that's a really special moment. She probably won't ever forget it.
Yeah. Well, let's do this, Coach. In the interest of consolidating information, why don't we take on these Stanford games here, sort of as one work? Because I mean, quite honestly, you go from no hitting St. John's to almost getting no hit against a really, really good Stanford team. I mean, they showed, I think they showed everybody this weekend what they've got. But what I love about what happened, you dropped the first game 4-0. You come back in the game 2 against Stanford, and oh my gosh, you had them. You were just right there. You guys kind of got. I guess the narrative I'm creating here is in that first bout against Stanford, you kind of got punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
But you came right back and you punched them in the mouth, and then it just kind of turned into a bit of a brawl, if you will.
Yeah. Going into the weekend, we knew that Stanford was going to be a really tough opponent. They started the weekend ranked, I think it was maybe 14th, I think around there, top 15. And, right at that mark. And so we knew that they were going to be tough. They were a super regional program last year and got hot really, really late at the season, did really well. And so we went into it knowing that they could really pitch. They've got really good staff. They've got really dominant arms, and we prepared for them all week last week, knowing what we were going to face, all of their pitching, and so we felt like they were going to be tough games for us, and that we were going to need to execute our plans really well. Sam Gress through game one and gave us a really great performance. I was really pleased with what she did. And, they scored a couple early. Like, I think we were home the first game. They scored the 2 in the top of the first on a mistake that we made defensively with 2 outs. But I was proud of the team. They came off the field kind of after, like you said, Nick, getting punched in the face there, top of the first. And they came in the dugout. They were still fired up, ready to go, didn't let it phase them. And, I think that we just got beat, if you will. They threw a freshman pitcher that was throwing rise balls about 70 miles an hour at our eyes. And, we just honestly didn't figure it out. And I thought Sam missed a pitch in the top of the fourth. They scored a couple more. And so we ended up losing 4-0. And the tough part about our schedule was that was our second game on Friday. And we played them our first game on Saturday. So we went St. John, Stanford, St. John. So just reversed on Friday and Saturday. So, we left the field middle of the day on Friday and went back to the hotel. And, I let all of our players that their parents come and watch them, they can go eat dinner with their parents and stuff post game. And so we met as a program once everyone had gotten back from dinner, and we just kind of recapped it. And I could tell that they were, they just kind of felt like they got the wind knocked out of them. You could tell that they felt like they just got beat, that, they couldn't figure it out. And I felt like they were pressing a lot in the box. And so we just had like a 30-minute meeting, kind of recapping the day, knowing that we were going to get up early the next morning and play Stanford right away at 10:30, the first game of the day. And so, then we start game 2, and we scored early. I've got the box score here pulled up, looking at it. We scored really early. And I thought we made better adjustments. They started an arm game 2 that we did not expect, which ended up being good for us. And we wanted to score on this arm early. So we scored 4 runs in the first 2 innings, and then they brought in their ace, which was Vodder, who we actually didn't face in game 1. We faced a freshman in game 1, and then they brought in Vodder in the middle of the game there in game 2. And it was just tough. Again, I felt like we in the box, like we were better than game 1. We were a little less pressing, and, I think we stuck with our plan well. We just couldn't make it happen. And Stanford kind of just scored 1 run at a time until they slowly kind of inched their way back into it and ended up pulling it out 5-4. But, we just learned a lot, and obviously walking away from it as a coach. And I know anyone on the team would tell you this, like, our goal is to win every game we play. Like, there are no moral victories for us. Like, we were super disappointed that we lost, but we try to evaluate it very neutrally after the game and take our emotions out of it and take the expectation of, well, we're going to win every game out of it. really, okay, what can we take away from, both games at Stanford? And I think Stanford's going to go a long ways this season in college softball. They're a really, really good team. And I think our 2 games against them are going to prove us really well later in the year. So, it didn't go our way, but, we got a lot out of it. And, then we came back and we beat St. John's in game 4 of the weekend, game 2 of day 2. And I think it just kind of set us up to have a really good Sunday, which I know you guys want to talk about here in a second. But yeah, I thought the weekend kind of set up really well for us playing Georgia really well yesterday, and kind of reflection of the entire 3 days.
And Coach,
Well,
we gotta look at all 6 of your pitchers this weekend.
Mhm.
Talk a little bit about the staff and how you went into prepping the rotation for the weekend.
Yeah. We knew Lena was going to start game 1. We wanted Grass and Barefoot to throw against Stanford. So that's why you saw those guys against both, Stanford games. And then, it was really cool because I knew I was going to start Brooke Bowling game 2 against St. John's. That was her first start for us. And, she's year 2 in the program, but she had a red shirt last year because she tore ACL right before we started the season. And so just like to see the team get up and to be so excited about her getting that start game 2 against St. John's. It was game 4 of the weekend, but the second time we played St. John's, it was just awesome. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. She went out there and she threw the first, and I was moved to tears a little bit in the dugout. I just had chill bumps. I had tears in my eyes to see her, go out there and pitch like she did. I mean, it was so awesome. And the team was so hype, and she threw so well. I mean, she spotted it up. She had high velo. She looked like she had been out there for years, and for that to be her first appearance in the uniform year 2 after coming back from the ACL injury and all she's had to work through the past year and a half. That was, other than Lena's no-hitter, I mean, internally, like, that was just such a cool moment for me, was Brooke's start. And then we brought in Amelia Weirchuk, who was with us last year, and she transferred from Duke to us 2 years ago. So this is her last season. And man, I've never seen her drop ball move like it did against St. John's on Saturday night. It was moving 2 feet when it got to the plate. I've never seen it like that. And so she kind of fed right off of Brooke Bowling's appearance, and we just got it done, and it was electric and it was awesome. And the team was just really excited about him. The pitching staff, we have 6 pitchers, and they're just so selfless. That's I'm probably my most proud trait internally of them, is that they're each other's biggest fans. They've bought into the rotations. They've bought into their roles. I mean, whoever is in the circle at any given time, they are just absolutely behind. And it's just, that's what it takes. That's what it takes to win at a really high level. And they've really bought into that. So really proud of the pitching staff. And then we went back to Gress for game 5 against UGA. And, kind of strategically, like, we had everybody ready to go against Georgia. We knew we wanted to start Sam Grass against them. She had given us so many gutsy performances so far. And I just really felt like the fire that she has when she's in the circle, and the way that she'd been throwing, she was the perfect matchup for them to start. And it's getaway day for, on Sunday. And so I told them we had a plan for all of them getting warm at a certain point. And I said, I just need all of you ready at any pitch. We could go to you against UGA's offense. We had a really specific plan against every hitter. And as soon as we felt like they were on time, or as soon as we felt like they were getting momentum, we were going to make a change. And so we were prepared. All of them were in the dugout ready to go. But they wanted Sam to go as long as she could. And she did. I mean, she went until the 7th. And I think she no-hit him until the 5th, maybe. I'll have to pull up the box score, but she kept them off balance. I mean, she did a really good job against one of the best offenses in country. And she gave us all she had for as long as she did. And we ended up going to Elkins and then to Barefoot in the 7th to win it. And just their interactions when we won that game, just the way that they embraced each other and how excited they were for each other is you just can't ask for anything more than their coach, than how they displayed their emotions in those moments.
Just and we'll come back to Georgia, but just make sure we spread. No, you're good. We'll spread the love around here. You guys did rack up 10 hits in that second St. John's game, including doubles from Boo, Ariana Rhodey, Maddie Wright doubled, Amelia Weirchuk doubled, and London Dirks with that should be her first career home run, right?
Yes, I'm so glad you mentioned that because that was a big moment for us. She got a pinch hit and battled, and we thought she was a great matchup for the arm that they had on the field. And, she just crushed it right over left field. And it was awesome. I mean, again, I think everyone in the stands and in the dugout had chill bumps for her. So I think Taylor Wyke asked her, how'd it feel? And she's like, that was the greatest moment of my life.
So far.
First career hit.
Yeah, first career hit. It's a home run, as a Niner. It doesn't get much better than that. But so full circle here. It's crazy how the game works. You guys know this. So London was in right field to end the Georgia game. And she caught the last out to end the game in right field. And so we asked her, I think Taylor was the one that asked her again, okay, what was a better moment, the home run against St. John's or ending the game when you caught that pop-up for us against UGA? And she said, hands down, when I caught the pop-up. She said, hands down. So, that just goes to show you, like, they do not care about their individual performances. They know that individually they all need to perform well for the team to win. But that's not what it's about. I mean, they are so on board for whatever it takes. It's not about me, it's about us. And so to hear her say that, she would take the moment she caught the fly ball against Georgia any day of the week was really, really cool to hear. But so going back, Nick, what you said about the 10 hits against St. John's, I think if you look at the offensive stats right now, they're just not really indicative to the talent that I think we have on the team. And I'll go back to saying, like, I just think that they've put a ton of pressure on themselves to start the year a certain way offensively. And so, we've just been really trying to take the pressure off, have good plans, have good at bats, and kind of go about it as a holistic offense. Like we're not trying to win the game with one swing and put the ball over the fence every single time we get to the box. And, and to be honest with you, I think they've struggled a little bit with that here the first 2 weeks. And I get it. Like, I understand, like, they have high expectations for what we want to do this year as this team and what they believe we can do. And so they just were putting so much pressure on themselves. So I think it was, as a coaching staff, it was really good for us to see that second St. John's game when we had 10 hits, like they just relaxed and hit the ball just like they do at the Sioux every single day when we train. And so I think that was a really big confidence booster for them going into Sunday. Took some pressure off. They're like, oh yeah, right. Like we can hit and we can score runs. And so that was a really fun one, I think, for us in a lot of ways, but it was good to see him kind of just double digit hits on the night was great.
And then you did it again on Sunday, another 10 hits against Georgia. And it was really balanced. You got a couple of ribbies from Ashley Washington. You got one from Cassidy. Boo had one. You got a home run from Ariana Rhodey, another freshman contributing. And Maddie Wright came in, had a pitch and RBI. So really balanced across the board.
Yeah. Ashley Washington is a really cool story right now on our team. Started the year not as a starter and someone that has had several pinch hits. If you've been following us, you notice that I pinch hit for her a lot, give her some offensive opportunities. And then, as we were pressing from week 1 to week 2, and we just, we weren't scoring as much as we wanted to. We weren't being as productive as we wanted to. Like, we brought Ash into the order to lead us off here in the back half of this tournament. And the team was so excited about it. She just set a really good tone. We moved Boo down a little bit. And it really worked for us. So it pushed Ari Rhodey out of the DP spot. So Washington became just our offensive player, our designated player. And for the last 2 games, it's against St. John's and Georgia. And then Rhodey actually played right field, which is something as a program we're working through right now, but been really proud of Rhodey as a freshman. I think if you watch her hitting the at-bats that she's had and the success that she's had so far, you wouldn't think she was a freshman in our lineup. And just the way that she has embraced an offensive role on our team has been awesome, and really, really proud. Kind of like Lena, just really mature, really excited about what they're going to do for the team throughout the season. And so you saw Rhodey late in the weekend in right field. That's something we're going to have to train a little bit this week and then the coming weeks with her. It just opens up a spot for Washington in the order. And I think right now as a program, like, we need her in the offensive order every single day. And she's been a spark plug for us the last couple wins, and she's earned that role. So that pushes a Rhodey to defense. So we've got to find a place for her defensively. And right now that looks like it's going to be right field.
So, Coach, I'll take you back to yesterday. It's the top of the 7th inning. It's 2-2. You're against the top 10 Georgia team. Take us through the top of that 7th inning. Well, kind of the offense kind of exploded for, what was it, 4 runs in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up here, Kevin. Let me see. So I get it right here. God, it was happening so fast and we were making so many changes. It was electric. We had, the game was super tight the entire time. And yeah, I've got the box score right here. The game was super tight, like the entire game. It felt so relaxed, which I think was really cool for us as a staff, because I think the team just, like, they had clear eyes the entire time. And I think Maddie Wright's pinch hit to center field was huge for us. Maddie knew she wasn't available to pitch that game. We had talked about it, and I said, hey, like, I really feel like the team is going to need you to hit at some point. We're going to need your at bat at some point in the game. And so we had planned for her not to pitch against Georgia and give the ball to the other guys if we needed them. And so the Maddie Wright pinch hit to come in, and I think it was center field. She hit it to center field. And so that was a really big moment for us. Washington doubled down the line again, just like everything we've been talking about with Ash, like such a spark plug for us. And, it's kind of cool. Like, you think, Krupit and Vanoy are going to be the ones that win you games. And then you see all these other guys stepping up and doing really big things, offensively for the team. It just takes pressure off of those players. Like, it takes pressure off of Cass and of Bailey. So, the other thing we had in the 7th was really good base running. We had some really good base running, and which we train a lot, because if you can't run the bases, you really can't score the runs like you need to. So it was awesome. Lexi Wagner laid down a bunt. Lexi was actually our flex player, had just been playing defense for us. Just been playing center field all game and had struggled offensively that weekend. And so we took her out of the order, but we needed her in center. And to see her come in, she pinch hit for Gress. So Gress was still pitching, but we brought Lexi in to lay down a bunt first and second, and that gave us a chance to move the runners to second and third. And it was just the absolute most perfect bunt you'd ever seen, a really selfless moment for Wagner. And so for me, like, that top of the 7th, when we broke it open 6-2, it was just accumulation of, hey, it's not about me, it's about us. Like, we're just going to try to move runners. We're going to bunt them over. And so someone gets a big hit, and it just was accumulation of our entire offense coming together and saying, hey, like, we refuse to lose here. And it gave Sam Gress a lot of confidence in the game in the bottom of the 7th. And to be honest with you guys, like, if we hadn't scored in the top of the 7th, I was going to make a pitching change. I was going to bring Lena Elkins in at the start of the inning in the bottom of the 7th. But because we had scored 4 runs and it was up 6-2 and Sam had thrown her heart out all game, like I felt like she could give us 3 more outs, like the game was hers, and sometimes things just don't go the way you plan. And, so she started the inning and then we brought Lena in, and that was a big moment for Lena. And she watched the lefty Davis that she faced. And then, they hit a long ball to left center that we couldn't make a play on. And so I felt like as Georgia had gotten some momentum from the Gress to Elkins, transition, I felt like barefoot was the way to go. She was ready, and, she came in with runner on second base and got us 3 outs, runner in scoring position. And that was probably the best I'd seen Gigi barefoot since we started. She's obviously had a lot of success and a lot of great innings for us in the first 2 weeks, but those 3 outs against UGA, that's the best I've seen her stuff since we started 2 weeks ago. I mean, she was on a mission there. She was going to get it done for her team. So the entire 7th inning was really tight, but it was also really relaxed, and it was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of change happening. You should have seen my lineup card after the game. I mean, it was like scratched up. Like I double checked it like 3 times that I had re-entered who I needed to re-enter and that the umpire knew, and like everything was set for us to win the game, because my lineup card was a disaster with how much we changed around. And, but it takes what it takes, and we got it done.
I kind of felt like, when you went out there and you got Lena, when you're coming off a no-hitter, you get a pass.
Yeah, right.
But part of me thought, when you brought in Georgiana, I was, my first thought was, this is why Gigi came here.
Yes.
This is the environment that she came here for. And you had runners on second and third, right? And the sack fly got them 1. And I felt, I really did, when she was able to trade a run for an out, I said out loud, that's a good trade. I think we just won the game.
Yeah. Because
the pressure got a little less. She had the 1 out, and the first out, right? It's whether it's softball or baseball. You get never underestimate the power of strike 1.
Right.
Never underestimate the power of out 1. And then it's like after that, they still had the tie-in run out at second, but it wasn't 60 feet away, and she's just a bulldog, and it was like, you're not getting this game.
Yeah, they hit the ball. I mean, it was a pretty deep fly ball. It was a foul. It was a foul ball, actually, a foul fly ball into left field. And Kai Garrett was in left. And as soon as it came off the bat, my instinct was catch the ball, take the out, and that's what Taylor was standing to my left. And, that's what Taylor and I were saying, like, take the out, take the out. And so I think when we got that one, I don't think we wavered at all that they scored and made it 6-5. So at that point, Gigi had a runner on second. So the tying run was on second with 1 out. And we were in the heat of their order. I mean, we were in the thick of it. We were not in the bottom. I mean, we were at their best. And so I knew deep down it was going to take her best stuff, and she executed it beautifully. I mean, we threw high and tight, really tight against the righties. And she struck out, I think she struck out Kearney for out 2. And then Fields hit the fly ball to right field that London Dirks caught to end the game. And it's just cool. It's really cool. It was the highest ranked road win in program history. I found that out right after the game was over. Wow. And, it's just all the credit goes to the players. I mean, they woke up Sunday morning with no doubt in their hearts that they were going to win that game. And that's what it takes to beat Georgia at Georgia. Anyone that knows anything about college softball, knows how hard it is to beat Georgia at Georgia. And they woke up Sunday morning and there wasn't a doubt in their minds that that's what we were going to do, and then come back to Charlotte. So I'm just so proud of them. It was really fun. It was really, that post-game talk, really, really cool. We gave the dugout card to Sam Gress. When we win, we give the dugout card to the player that deserves it in the game. And, we gave the dugout card to Sam Gress. It honestly could have gone to so many people. And, but it went to Sam because, Sam really set the tone for us from the start. And she didn't get the complete game, and she did have to come out in the 7th, but I didn't care and she didn't care. I mean, it was like, I'm going to give you everything I have on every single pitch until it's not my turn anymore. And she did exactly that. And it was a beautiful performance. And I don't believe that we would have won the game without her mentality and just kind of what she took out in the circle against them. So she got the dugout card for that win.
Yeah, well deserved. Coach, we need to talk about this weekend. We've held you here over 45 minutes now. You're so gracious with your time. But I do want to point out that this is all your fault, because if you had just gone 0-5 this week, we could have done this show in about 10 minutes.
I think if we had gone 0-5, we probably would have canceled it, Nick. Like, I don't have anything to talk about.
We could have just, you did so much good. You guys did so much good stuff this week that it took long to talk about it. So, I mean, it's risk versus reward here. Right. So I can only imagine the bus ride back from Athens must have been awesome. What time did you guys get home yesterday?
We rolled back into the Sioux about 10 p.m. And, it takes us a little time to unpack everything and get the laundry up and get the equipment back where it needs to go. So, I feel like everyone probably left the field about 10:30, went home. And, Mondays is a recovery day for them. They focus on school and treatment and just kind of getting set up for the week. So I'm sure they got some good sleep last night. To be honest with you, the bus ride home was really, really great for like the first 15, 20 minutes. And after that, it was pretty quiet the rest of the time. They were out. I mean, they were so tired from the weekend. We had 2 really early days. And so most of them slept the way back. It was about a 3-hour trip, and it was easy. It was right up 85. So, I think they were just kind of exhausted getting back on the bus. But, going into week 3, we're really excited about being back here at the Sioux. We don't take it for granted to be able to play as many games as we get to play here in Charlotte and in front of our home fans and our families and, all of our supporters in the community. And so we're excited to be back at the Sioux this weekend. And we've got some really great programs coming in, and Penn State, Kent State, Boston U, and Georgia Tech. Personally, we'll prepare for every opponent the same, treat every game the same. Personally, I'm really excited about the Georgia Tech matchup, only because we went down to Atlanta to play them in a 3-game series last year in the 22 season during our bye weekend. And we let game 1 slip away in extra innings and played really well, and just couldn't close the door and get the job done. And then we did not play very well game 2 and game 3 off of them. So I think all of our returners, as well as our coaching staff, we're just really excited to have the opportunity to play them again on Sunday at 2. And so I'm looking forward to that game personally. But we've got 3 other great games before that. So I guess I jumped a couple of days ahead there, but really excited about the weekend. It's going to be, I think, really good weather as well.
Yeah. So fans, it's Penn State on Friday at 3, 2 games on Saturday, Boston U at 4:30, Kent State at 7. I know some folks out there have bought tailgate passes for the Saturdays. Baseball plays at 2. This is a double dip weekend. So baseball plays at 2. They have a home series against Army. That means, for those of you out there wondering what this has to do with you, that means the tailgate lot opens at 10 a.m. on Saturday. So you got your first game at 4:30. The tailgate lot opens at 10 a.m. for baseball tailgating, and we will be there. So if you're planning on doing some softball tailgating, go ahead, pack your gear up, come out. We'll be there at 10 o'clock, hang out, and we'll have a great time. So looking forward to that. In fact, what I'm planning to do is I'm looking at that baseball at 2 and then Kent State at 7. That's kind of feeling like a double header for me, Coach.
Yeah. You know, the walk is super short right across Phillips Road, and you usually can hear, like, when, you know, when something hype happens at the Hayes or at the Sioux.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, you know, the noise travels, so you can hear it, especially now with our new video boards that we've both got. And so there's just no reason why you can't catch a lot of everything that's going on, you know, especially on Saturday. So
Just don't get hit by a bus or a homer.
yeah, little heads up there across the road. That would be good. But before we end it, I have to shout out our parents and everyone that traveled with us this weekend to Athens. I mean, I know in the broadcast that they did yesterday on the SEC network, they shouted out how well we traveled. And, you know, we have so many people that are behind us, like you guys, and, you know, just supporters in the community, our parents, our closest friends who, you know, made the trip down to Athens with us. And it just makes such a difference for us to have that kind of support in the stands. We did the 49ers cheer in the stadium at UGA yesterday, and it was so loud. I mean, I think it sounded like the Georgia fans were doing it. It was so loud, but it was just really cool to see that. And it's so appreciated on my end that, you know, we have that kind of investment from so many people. And in relation to the tailgate that's going to be happening this weekend, and every time we're at the Sioux, you know, I think we have a really fun bunch. So I wouldn't miss it if I were you. If I was able to be there, I'd be there. Obviously, I can't be there, but I think it's going to be a fun time with all of you guys and our parents and our fans up in the tailgate lot. So I would encourage everyone to
Taylor and come on out.
take part.
Just say, here's the lineup card. I'll be back.
Yeah. I mean, she could handle it. I might just, you know, show up for the first pitch, come straight from the tailgate lot. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it is. And we've made some contacts with some folks that want to do some softball tailgating, and we've talked about these double dip Saturdays, and Saturday's the first one. So looking forward to seeing those folks out there and build an even stronger community Saturdays on campus. So very cool. All right, folks, we're all out of time. We have taken all of Coach Ashley's time today. We appreciate her being so generous. We appreciate all of you for tuning in to the Diamond Niner Gals podcast. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to click subscribe on the YouTube channel. You can also find the Diamond Niner Gals podcast on Spotify. You can follow us, Diamond Niner Report, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. That's where you'll be able to find us. Make sure to follow along for more content. We love hearing from you all. So if you've got any feedback on the show, which we did hear maybe some people have been watching the show and taking notes on it. So if you have and you've got some feedback for us, feel free to reach out. We love talking to folks. Feel free to hit us up on social, or heck, just say hello to us the next time you see us, either at the parking lot or in the parking lot or at the Sioux. For Kevin, producer Brad, and Coach Chastain, this is Nick saying, we'll see you at the Sioux.
Good night. See you at the Sioux.